Rick Bell, and thanks for joining Workforce's ongoing coverage of the 5th anniversary of the passage of the Affordable Care Act. With me today is Scott Bolohan, a freelance writer who has a unique and very personal take on the effectiveness of healthcare reform. Scott, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Rick. My pleasure.
Right on. So, are you seeing the sort of general malaise toward healthcare reform among your peers?
I think that's a great way to put it, actually. It's almost like a black sheep that everyone's sort of like afraid to approach or talk about, and no one's really excited about it. I have a few friends who do have Obamacare, and it's never really something we kind of like, oh yeah, we got Obamacare, and like that's it. No one really wants to talk about it. There's almost like an air of embarrassment about having it because I think of the way the discussion has gone so negative toward it, in fact. And I think that a lot of people it's something they think they should do and they haven't done. I know friends who should be doing it and they just haven't done it. And I think a lot of that has to do with the way it's been talked about openly in the country here.
It seems that you initially were a little hesitant to sign up for it. Is that fair to say?
That's definitely true. It's one of those things. Well, first, no one wants to sign up for insurance. No one's like, I'm going to get hurt, something bad's going to happen to me, I want to get insurance. When I first signed up for it, I was 27. I thought I was invincible. I thought that nothing was ever going to go wrong with me. I didn't need it. I didn't have health insurance before that. Once I got off my parents' plan at 26, I was just risking it, basically. And so nothing really happened. I think I went to the doctor maybe once, and I was like, do I really need this? And finally, I waited till the very last day, and I signed up, and I didn't think about it again for months, really. It's just, I did it, I was glad to have done it, and it was out of my mind at that point.
What were some of the problems, though, that you encountered in signing up?
Initially, once I signed up, I had no idea what I did. They said I didn't really have a doctor, so they assigned me a doctor. I didn't know where the doctor was, and I ended up trying to call this doctor, and the doctor didn't have that location anymore. So the records I were given were very outdated. Just finding people who would take my insurance, because I had to start all over again, basically, coming off of my parents' plan. So that's a big struggle. And the way it was laid out, and even the deadlines, I didn't understand that I had waited that long. I thought I had longer to do it. Just the information was not out there originally, I think.
Mm-hmm. But ultimately, it proved to be of value to you.
It more than a value. It honestly changed my life. This summer, I was playing baseball, and I slid into third, a thing I've done hundreds, if not thousands of times in my life, and I broke my ankle. And it ended up requiring surgery with plates and screws in my ankle. And between that and the rehab, the doctor visits, I'm looking at a bill about $30,000 is what I'd be looking at. And for me, as a freelance writer, I mean, $30,000, I may never recover from that. So, and it's really all because of Obamacare. I was able to avoid what really would have been a crippling amount of debt in my life. So yeah, it was a tremendous thing that I, at the time signing up for, I never could have anticipated.
Right. Okay. So maybe healthcare reform isn't really the icebreaker at a party, but it is something that the millennial generation should be talking about.
For sure. I think that the best thing that could happen is for a more open discussion about it, for people who have Obamacare and who have the health care, and they are experiencing benefits from it. You never hear anything positive about it. You only hear people complain about it, how they had to change their doctors, how it ended up costing them more money. You don't hear people like me who it changed my life. And I think if more people my age were aware of that, it would be much more popular. A lot more people would have it, which would really be better for them in the long run here.
Mm-hmm. So they're sending the wrong. They're not conveying the right message in your opinion.
No, it's a great thing, I think. For me, as someone who does not have insurance provided by my employer, I would have been without insurance. I would have been responsible for everything, and I don't know if I would have made the same decisions. I may have opted to not have surgery because that's a crazy amount of money. Yeah. And I think if more people were aware of how it can really help you, that it would be a much more respected, perhaps, thing. Particularly people my age. We're invincible. That's the big thing. We don't think about this. This is nothing that's ever going to come up. Like, we don't sit down and talk about insurance. It's the last thought on our mind until something like this happens to me, and then all of a sudden it's the most important thing in the world.
Excellent. All right, Scott, thanks so much for your time, and best of luck to you, and we'll be talking soon.
Great. Thank you so much,
right,
Rick.
Take care.
Take care.
All right. That worked out good.
Is that good? You think that's fine?
So, hold on. Okay, so I'll let you know what's going on. Like when things get posted, I'll drop you an email, and and yeah, man, best of luck to you. I hope things work out well for you.
Much.
Yeah, no, you know what? It's like, yeah, if you write about soccer, man, I'll totally be looking for it.
I'd be really excited about that. I would love to.
You know, I got to tell you, it's like, all right, so when I first moved to Chicago 4 years ago, it's like I started picking up Red Eye, and it's like, all right, I'm not nearly hip enough to be reading this publication, but I kept reading it, and I found that there's some really good writing, and there's some really clever people who work for that publication. You know, they do a really, really good job.
They do, and that's, when I first moved to Chicago, I would read that every single day. I thought this was, some of it was not for me, but the personality in it, there's a lot of personality, a lot of people who I really enjoyed, and I sort of wanted to be them, and that I was actually able to become them in a sense, like, blew my mind, because I think they do a really, really good job, and they reach like a demographic who doesn't get that news necessarily in any other way. So I'm very happy with everything I've done there over the last 5 years, 6 years or something like that now. So it's been great.
Dang, you've been writing for them for 5 years.
I got hired in college.
Wow.
Yeah, I started working as a columnist when I was a senior in college. Wow. I was actually living in London at the time. I was studying abroad when they brought me on.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been a while now. It's great. It's really great, and it's tough to break into anything. I could never write for the Tribune. No one would ever hire me at the Tribune. I'm too young, and it's not their style. So It's like, this is the best thing for me right now, and for now it's great. So.
Yeah. Cool. All right, thanks, Scott, and best of luck to you, and we'll be talking.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I'll get some pictures over to you later.
Oh, good. Appreciate it. All right, talk soon.